Hi, everyone. We are ready for our next session with Victoria Steadman. Let me introduce her to you all. So Vicky Steadman is a Senior Director of Business Development at Sai Life Sciences. She is a medicinal chemist by background and has over 18 years of industry experience in both big pharma and within CROs. She's named on over 25 peer-reviewed publications and patents, including a Nature paper, and has worked in the therapeutic areas of antivirals, antibiotics, and neuroscience. Vicky has a BSc in chemistry from Imperial College and a PhD in organic chemistry from the University of Cambridge. She is also a fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry. Welcome, Vicky, and we look forward to your talk.
Thank you very much, and good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me today at the Precision and Drug Discovery and Preclinical Virtual Summit, where I'll be talking to you about integrated drug discovery and development and how it can be used to smooth your path from discovery through IND into the clinic and beyond. So the audience here today are all well aware of the path that a project has to take from target ID and validation period through identification of hits, hit to leads, lead optimization, and candidate delivery.
And I think your slide deck is not being shared on my end. If you just want to hit
it not? Okay, let me end slideshow. Share. There, is that okay now?
Wonderful, yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Can you still see it moving?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll get stuck back in now. So, as I was saying, the majority of, I'm sure the audience all here today are well aware of the path a project has to take all the way through discovery into preclinical development. And I also doubt that there are many of you here today whose companies have not realised the benefits of outsourcing and engage with outsourcing providers already in the discovery space or in the development space or in both. Some of the key reasons to outsource are to turn fixed cost into variable cost, so capital efficiency, and also capital elasticity, so the ability to adjust your spending by portfolio needs and as data arises. Outsourcing can also be used to address an internal capacity shortfall and also to address capability gaps. And to address gaps in expertise in certain areas as well. Companies can also access innovation and novel technologies from CROs, and in particular accessing novel technologies without having to spend on CapEx. And last but not least, outsourcing activities which are not the core business of your company allows you to focus on those core competencies, knowing that your outsourced activities are in the hands of experts. So the global market for CROs and CDMOs are showing continued strong growth, with a CAGR of around 10% for CROs and around 5 to 6.5% for CDMOs. And supporting companies with their outsourcing efforts are both contract research organisations and contract development and manufacturing organisations. And there is typically some overlap where these organisations engage with customers. And that happens typically as projects are approaching candidate selection and are requiring scale-up of non-GLP batches. Of course, there are many companies who offer both CRO and CDMO services, of which Sai Life Sciences is one. So Sai Life Sciences is a company that offers support to customers right from early exploratory biology through integrated drug discovery and then up into development with process R&D, safety and engineering and analytical and manufacturing, supporting compound delivery from tox and early clinical batches all the way through to commercial supply. So what is integrated outsourcing and how does it work? So in a non-integrated scenario, then the outsourcing company subcontracts their work to different suppliers for different disciplines and carries out all the project management themselves. With an integrated outsourcing approach, a project team within the outsourcing company outsources their project to an integrated supplier, and a project team is set up within the CRO and project management who coordinate the project at their typically co-located facilities with continual communication to the customer through regular project meetings. Importantly, project management and any logistics are handled internally within the CRO. When it comes to integrated discovery and development input can be sought as the project is approaching candidate selection, with the advantage of having an integrated discovery and development partner being that tech transfer is very easily facilitated internally within that CRO CDMO. So why do customers outsource in an integrated fashion? Well, different customers have different reasons for doing this, which I will walk you through. So one that applies to all customer types really is they may lack the internal budget or resource or even facilities to be carrying out the project that they wish to carry out internally. And therefore can reach out to an integrated service provider to manage that project in a multidisciplinary fashion on their behalf. Accessing drug discovery and development experience is not necessarily relevant to the extremely experienced big pharma and biotech organisations, but in the smaller virtual biotechs and academic groups, they may have very specialist expertise, but lack that drug discovery or development experience from within their team. And again, by working with an integrated provider, that can be accessed readily. Accessing specific experience, skills and capabilities, again, is attractive to all customer types. And again, being a one-stop shop to minimise contracts or paperwork complexity is attractive to all different types of customer. Simplifying project management as well. So with a dedicated project manager within the CRO, this greatly simplifies the project management burden on the customer. Accessing innovation as well. So CROs are typically driven to bring in new techniques and new technologies and exciting new bits of equipment that can be accessed by their partners without, as I mentioned earlier, having to spend on that capex. One very important thing for a company considering outsourcing in an integrated fashion is they need to have confidence in their supplier to deliver all aspects of the project. And that is certainly important to all customer types. Improving speed and efficiency, so faster turnaround time. Certainly for an integrated provider, co-location is of huge benefit to really speeding up without shipping the efficiency of the projects. Flexibility and resourcing as well between disciplines. So deals can be struck with CROs whereby a flexible resource can be set up. So if your project requires more chemistry at one stage and less biology, then again, that sort of arrangement can be designed into the project. In certain cases, customers do not want their own wet labs now. So in particular, virtual biotechs can run companies very effectively using CROs. And again, with these companies pretty much being slim in terms of the number of headcount, then using an integrated provider can really work out very well for that customer type. And as I say, to access those project teams in that co-located manner is attractive to customers. So why outsource integrated discovery and development to the same company? So again, the multidisciplinary facilities, the tech transfer here is greatly facilitated by face-to-face communication and close working teams. One important element is actually, especially if it's a discovery customer moving into the development side of an organisation, they're going to experience the same culture and values from the organisation that runs through the whole company, rather than move to a different company that may not have the values and culture that they appreciated from their discovery supplier. Also, very easy to access input from the development team prior to candidate selection with those teams within a single company. And again, very important, the customer has to have confidence in the supplier to deliver all aspects of the project, so equally good research and development teams. Another benefit can be that if the backup compound is of a similar structural class, the material can just be fed straight back into the research team to really accelerate the backup program, if relevant. And last but not least, by sticking with the same CRO for an integrated discovery and development project, then the overall spend at that company may well trigger a discount. Now, integrated outsourcing isn't always appropriate in every instance, and there are certainly cases where it's not applicable. For one thing, where real specialist services are required, which are not within an integrated CRO, and there are plenty of these which it would be more appropriate to go to companies where they are true specialists in that particular area. Some companies work with multiple suppliers for one particular discipline, but want standardised results in another discipline. For example, they're having compounds synthesised in multiple CROs, but they want standardised results from another discipline across multiple programs. So that would be a reason not to do the integrated manner. Department heads having their own preferred suppliers is a very common reason not to be integrated, not to be working rather in an integrated fashion, and comes up quite a lot when you speak to people. That is a perfectly valid reason that people wish to remain with tried and trusted suppliers that they have worked with well for their discipline over a period of time. Companies also want to mitigate risk by having supplier and geographical diversity of outsourcing, and that's become quite clear, I guess, over the last year during the pandemic episode. And legacy outsourcing strategies. So when companies have been working in a certain manner for a number of years, that can be very difficult to change, even if there is a clear benefit for a particular project to do that. Some companies as well prefer internal project management, so they have dedicated project managers who can run the projects and coordinate all the logistics and project management on behalf of the customer. And another reason can be that they're looking to stretch their dollars, and so don't want to put all their eggs in one basket. And finally, they may have a lot of time for one particular department of an integrated supplier, but may not have had a good experience in another. And again, that can be a perfectly valid reason not to outsource in an integrated fashion. So from the Sai Life Sciences perspective, we have seen an extremely strong growth towards customers wanting to access integrated drug discovery and development support. So Sai is a company that's been going for over 20 years, started with 2 chemists and was a pure play chemistry company. Added in DMPK and then biology. And as you can see over the years, the balance of standalone projects towards projects where companies are accessing multiple disciplines from within Sai is now up to over 50%. Are working with us in multiple disciplines. And this approach has delivered over 25 projects to different clinical phases. And with this integrated approach, co-localized, we have around an 18-month turnaround time from hit to lead through to candidate. Over the years as well, we've seen a change in the landscape of outsourcing starting points. So historically, it was Sai discovery chemistry customers who then added in, for example, DMPK or toxicology, and then maybe came back later to outsource biology. Now, this is really changing with exploratory biology now becoming a common and growing start point. So customers start with their biology and then add in the chemistry and other disciplines as their projects mature. Likewise, there's been a change in the start point for CMC, as historically customers outsourced manufacturing and then brought in the earlier phase scale-up activities actually later. But now, actually discovery is a more common start point for development projects, again highlighting the integrated drug discovery and development is a highly attractive element for customers to access. So here's a case history where Sai worked with a US biotech over 13 years, still going, with an integrated discovery and development offering. So Sai actually supported 3 candidate molecules from early discovery through to phase 1, phase 2B and phase 3, and had to solve multiple challenges along the way. And this project started back in 2007 with just a fee-for-service request for 2 compounds, and then grew as the customer got familiar with Sai and the way we worked, and had 15 FTE by 2008, a year later, identified their candidate, carried out the process and analytical development and non-GMP material, and then the GMP synthesis, and took material from phase 1 and phase 2, 3, and are still supporting the scale-up needs towards the market. So Sai is a changing and growing, transforming company, and in fact is investing over $150 million over the course of 4 years in people and culture, processes and automation and infrastructure and capabilities. And this can be exemplified by the change in our global footprint. So we now have an exploratory biology lab in Cambridge, USA, working hand in hand with those US-based customers in particular. And then once a project matures, from the biology standpoint, it can move across to Hyderabad, where we have an integrated campus with medicinal chemistry, biology, DMPK and vivarium. Our R&D centre, so this has medchem in half of it and early process R&D in the other half, allowing seamless integration of discovery and development chemistry. A new integrated discovery services building that's currently being built. Scale-up labs to go up to phase 1 are also on the same campus, as well as with the new global outlook, having established process labs in Manchester, UK at the Alderley Park facility, headed up by an ex-GSK team. So within the discovery group, already over 30 million US has been spent over 18 months on infrastructure and scientific talent. So we've brought in new technologies across both biology and chemistry, an instrumentation, a a very strong focus on safety and working in the most efficient manner, so that these new labs in the R&T Centre were built with lean in mind, with satellite analytical support labs actually within the chemistry labs as a separate small lab itself. And the automation side, looking at electronic supply chain management and other multiple automation efficiencies to be able to carry out our work more efficiently for customers. In particular, the investment in infrastructure has led to a large capacity to take on customers' projects. So we have the capacity to go up to 1,000 discovery scientists on this 12.5-acre discovery and development campus. So, just to summarise, really, integrated outsourcing can be of key benefit to customers for multiple project types and for multiple customer types. And Sai Life Sciences has the infrastructure and the investment and the experience and capabilities to drive customer projects through discovery, into development, and then through into to manufacturing. So I'll leave it there, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
Awesome. Great presentation, Victoria. There is a question for you from Karen McCluskey. She's the Senior Director, Lead Discovery and Translational Biology of Codex. And she's asking, do you offer services a la carte?
A la carte. Yes, certainly we do. So, yes, we offer integrated services, but we also offer standalone biology or chemistry or DMPK, whatever the customer is looking for.
Wonderful. And if there's any other questions for Victoria, you can write it in the Q&A box on the right-hand side. You can also connect with her, her colleagues Mike and Manish, as well through our meeting scheduler portal to learn more about Sai Life Sciences capabilities. And Dr. Duss, do you have any questions or remarks for Victoria?
No, I don't, Sam. Victoria, that was great. Thanks for the overview. I think I have a call scheduled with Sai either tomorrow or Friday. So I'll look forward to it. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful. So we are a little early. So before we head to the next presentation room, again, if you have any questions or want to connect with their group, you can do so with our scheduler, or you can email us directly. Thank you very much, Victoria, for your presentation.
Thank you.
With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be transferring everyone to the next session, which is Dr. Kieran of Mice and People, Challenges and